Welcome back to the Blindsiders. I am Ben. I am joined here by Brian for a special episode of the Blindsiders, a special little series we're going to do here, talking about Survivor, or Australian Survivor, Australia versus the world. A little bit of a mouthful. But it's our first foray into talking about International Survivor. And we're kind of just doing it for the season to see how it goes, because it's a short season in between regular U.S. seasons, and we have some players on there from the American show, so definitely excited to talk about the first 3 episodes here. Brian, are you excited?
I'm extremely excited. Yeah, so we're gonna do 1 episode a week. Obviously, Australian Survivor, lightning fast pace. 3 episodes at least a week. I think the last week we'll have 4, right? So it's gonna be a fast season despite having 10 episodes, but that's kind of fun. And the first 3 episodes we got were pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, look, we suffered through Survivor 48, and there have been swaths of the new era there where our coverage has largely been, and it's been, on and off, I would say, is the nice way to describe the new era. I really like 46 and 47. 45 had some good stuff in it, but largely I would say the new era of Survivor has been not the greatest. But yeah, these first 3 episodes, absolutely fire. And I mean, I expected the season to be incredible, just given the caliber of the cast, but Winners at War also had an insane cast, and that was kind of a disappointment, at least for me, in a lot of ways. So I'm very excited to get into it here, because 3 episodes, 3 big shots that were taken, 3 big players out. But I mean, with the caliber of the cast, it's going to be hard for us to go through a 3 episodes series without big players being taken out. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is an all-star series on steroids where it's like everybody is an absolute killer. Even from what I've heard, the international players who maybe we don't know are all also like top tier international players. And it's just going to be, one after another getting booted. And that's very fun. I think, oh man, where do I even begin here? So one, I think we deserve this, Ben, as podcasters who have only really covered the new era. Say nothing of our early 20s coverage for the different network, but in this configuration of the Blindsiders, we only have covered the new era, and it's been a lot of downs, some ups, but this so far has been really, really awesome. And hopefully season 50 can also be awesome. We'll see. What I love about Australian Survivor is it really feels like Survivor in the 20s. Whereas this is probably the best, where there are idols. Sure, there are some twists, but we're just going to let it play out based on the players that we have and let the players drive the interesting aspects of the show. And I mean, obviously, these players were going to be ultra interesting as it, was, but I think that's the way to go generally, Jeff, if you're listening. Please, because I'm going to come off of the show on a huge high, and that's going to last until someone loses their vote on Survivor 49, and then I'm going to be like, oh, there it is. All right.
Yeah, until the next Yahtzee journey happens.
Yeah. Shout out. Oh God, what was his name from Massachusetts? Justin. Shout out Justin. Follow him on TikTok.
Bianca. I mean, Bianca also not immediately, so it didn't sit in your brain, but Bianca also got screwed.
Yeah, my winner pick got screwed by it. I can't forget. So. Yep. Massachusetts representation and my winner pick, just a dark journey for me personally. But I'm loving this season so far. My all-time favorite Australian Survivor player is George, so a little bit of a disappointing outcome for episode 3. However, when I saw the cast, I mentally prepared myself for him to be the first boot. So I got 3 episodes of him. I can't really complain.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's on paper, right? And the episode 1 kind of goes through this. It should have been like a slam dunk 4-3 majority with David, Luke, Janine, and Sarah. That's kind of the immediate. Yeah, it's kind of set up, right? And I believe David was swapped in pretty late in the casting. I can't remember who he was swapped in for, but I believe that was the case. So maybe not an outright hey, we gotta rig it to keep some of David and Luke around, but it definitely on paper coming in felt like this was going to be the divide of the tribe, and that Shawnee and George were probably going to be on the outs, but that's not the case. I mean, I think that the takeaway from me from the Aussie tribe through 3 episodes is that they're all extremely messy, and the least messy for me and the most impressive, at least coming out, would be I think obviously Kirby. She has come in as the newest player. She only played 2 seasons ago, as opposed to many of these players who played in the somewhere between 5 to 8 seasons ago, at least in the earliest iteration. And she's only played once, as opposed to many of these players have played multiple times. So yeah, it's really impressive what she was able to do with basically no automatic built-in relationships. To just completely take control of this tribe and put herself into the fulcrum position of the majority.
Yeah, we got to give so much props to Kirby, who I enjoyed on was it Champions versus Brain versus Brawn?
Titans versus Rebels.
Titans versus Rebels. Yes, thank you. It's some kind of
I mean they're all
they're all a similar thing.
Yeah, people shit on American Survivor for their really stupid naming conventions, but Australian Survivor has some I would say way more.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But there's something to say about people who don't watch the show going on it and just not having the preconceived, notions of it and being able to approach it. She's not starstruck by anybody on the Australian tribe because she's never seen them play before.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what she's saying. I mean, do you believe that? I don't know. I think that's kind of tricky for me because I obviously know she hadn't watched the show going into her first season, and I know she's playing up at least to the other players. She talked about it in on the map in Challenge 1. I still don't know who any of these people are. I'm looking over at the World Tribe. I don't know who any of them are, which is
I think definitely true. If she didn't watch Australian Survivor, she didn't watch any of the other Survivors.
Okay, but you don't think she put in even a little bit of research headed into the season?
She may have. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. We'll have to ask her on Twitter.
Yeah, I think I'd be interested to know how much she's playing this up. Because it feels like she at least did a cursory level of research. It looks like it feels like she knows, at least enough to have, an opinion about some of these players. Whether or not she's binged every season, I don't think she's binged every season. But I think she might have, gone through the cliff notes of
read the Survivor wiki.
Yeah. The Andrew Savage, So yeah, I think that's kind of my take. I mean, I'd be curious to know where the actual truth lies on that, because if she legitimately has done zero research even between this season and her last, and she's coming out of the gate playing at this level, it's very impressive.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was so impressed. I think, let's talk just a little bit about George. I don't want to talk all about George, but I think George got in his own head coming into this, being the only way I'm going to succeed is if I, am able to get a big target alliance, and
Yeah.
he didn't take the actual real alliance that was offered to him
Yep.
seriously. He just like wouldn't believe that he found a way to be in a great position. He just
Yep.
couldn't let himself, he's looking a gift horse in the mouth, right? And like that I think is where he went wrong.
Yeah, well, I think we can go through like a lot of the issues that George had, but I think that one of the biggest things for me is he quoted the like famous Sandra everyone or anyone being me strategy, right? He said that a couple of times. I don't know if he understands the like premise of that strategy because
he's definitely someone who's like a huge control freak,
yeah,
and like cannot let his opinion not be the one that wins out.
I mean, for sure. But like, if that's the case, then like you can't play that strategy. The whole purpose of that strategy is kind of just like letting go of control and basically like allowing a plan to come to you that is good enough, and then just going with it and like making sure that people aren't seeing you as somebody that's driving the car. But like you said, George cannot let somebody else drive.
No.
And if somebody else is driving, even if they're going in a direction that's good for him, like he's gonna like grab the wheel and be like, "There's a shortcut this way." Like it's like, so just fundamentally, he's not doing that strategy. Like I think that's like the main premise of like my issue with George and his gameplay that like really irks me. Because like, yeah, he's like a great villain, great TV character. Like he really leans into the role. But like
insane promos, left and right. But
no, he's like a WWE heel. Like he really gets the role and he plays it well. But like from a strategic perspective, he just way overplayed a hand that he did not have access to. It's like he got dealt like a pair of threes, and like the board has like all kinds of action on it, and he's like I can really bluff everyone off this hand, and it's like you can't though. Like you're playing with pros, like you're not playing with amateurs, you're not playing with people who are going to get scared of a re-raise. You're playing with people who are able to see through you. Like it's just not going to work. And he's just,
and not only that, people who have seen you play this strategy 2 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony adjusted his game for Winners at War. And It worked. He won, and now he's playing a very similar game this season. So I mean, George needed to do that. George probably not capable of doing that.
Yeah,
that's why George hasn't won, and that's why Tony has won twice.
Yeah. Somebody else, I think, that incapable of adjusting their gameplay. From the other tribe, episode 1, we have Rob.
So Rob, from what I understand, was a winner who controlled the game wire to wire, and everyone just did what he wanted. And it kind of felt like he thought that's the best way to play Survivor and the only way to play Survivor because it worked.
Yeah. It is a very effective way to play Survivor if you have the cast for it, right? Like if you have a cast of people that are willing to cede control to you and like are like the kind of people that are like that are basically followers, right? Like you have a lot of people like cite Boston Rob and Redemption Island, or like even like a Kim Stradlin type game where like you need people who are kind of just like willing to follow the leader and like blindly allow them to be moved along the chessboard. And a season that's basically being pitched as the greatest like people in the history of the world to ever play this game, like that's not gonna work. It's just a fundamentally like flawed vision.
And like I think it was especially bad where he was like kind of approaching Parv and being like, I want to work with you and you need to do what I say. I'm not going to give you anything and you just need to do what I want.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, that doesn't really sound like you want to work with me, though. That just sounds like you want to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Parv is never going to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
No, of course not. Like, yeah, no, like again, George pointed out in the third challenge, like Parv is arguably the greatest to ever do it. Like, obviously, she only got the one win, but like, a lot of people consider Parv to be at the very least a top 3, if not like a top 2 or top 1 player in the history of Survivor. And like, she's not the type of person who is gonna get told what to do. That's just like that's fundamentally ridiculous to think that you could do that. Like, I don't know if he just doesn't know Parv at all as a game player, or he just like has that big of an ego that he thinks he can do that.
I think it's ego. I think it's also just his first season went so well.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's just what's going to happen because I'm that good at Survivor. Mm-hmm. And I do think there's a little bit of like, okay, I'm on a tribe with 7 people. I am the strongest guy, period. Mm-hmm. The other tribe has David still. They're not going to get rid of me first.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we are. Like, we don't care.
Yeah, this is like the strength thing is a little silly to me because it's such a short season, right? Like, if it was like a normal like 20-person cast, or like on Australian Survivor, like they have 24-person casts or whatever.
Yeah.
And like
12
it's
12 or 8v8 whatever.
Yeah. It's doing. Like, it's often like legitimately like 10 rounds, 11, 12 rounds until you get to a merge.
And like, the challenges are usually brutal.
Yes. I think the challenges this season so far have been physical. Like, there haven't really been like a lot of like mental components to challenges. They have been largely physical still. But like, again, you're only looking at like maybe 4 rounds before a merge, right? You're not really like fiending for the sort of long-term tribe strength that you would on a normal season. It's just not important. And especially combining that with an all-star season where like already tribe strength is not really something that gets valued on most all-star seasons, and it's more about alliances and loyalties and like targets and threats versus whatever. Like, it's just not, it's not relevant, right? And we see that with it playing out. The 2 big, beefy, strong guys get voted out first and second. Nobody cares about tribe strength in challenges. It's not pertinent.
Right. No, I mean, that's a great point. And like, we got the promo for next week. A double elimination. Yep. I would imagine that's the last pre-merge round, and it's going to be a final 2 with a jury of 7. Right? That just makes sense.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like you said, it's because there's so few rounds pre-merge. It doesn't matter. Like, you can be in a 3-person alliance and come out into the merge fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess the only argument is like, because of the premise of the season, where it's like a lot of like personal tied with a nationalistic kind of like idealism. Like, it's going to be less likely than a normal season that you would get people flipping, because like you're playing for your country, you're playing for like the glory of like it's it's like if you had the real Olympics, like people aren't gonna like betray their country for like to get like themselves ahead. Like, it's just I guess from that perspective, like maybe you can make sense that it's probably going to be more of like a firm numbers game at a merge compared to what normal all-star season might be. But like, even still, like it's still not really like the kind of thing that you should care about in terms of like short-term versus long-term thinking.
Yeah. And so, I mean, ironically, they voted Rob off and they've not lost since. Yeah. So like,
again,
it didn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Which, I got to give credit to Tony. He's been a workhorse in the chat. I know like Tony was brought onto Survivor as a brawn his initial season, and he was super jacked. He's older now, though. He's a decade older than when he played his first season.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. And he's getting it done. He's impressed me so much in these challenges.
Yeah. Man, just thinking about 11 years since Kagayan. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Relentless.
wow. But yeah, no, he's great. He's been a great leader, especially in the second challenge, like just keeping everybody calm and on task, like making sure when they were going over like the wobbly thing where the blocks were balanced that nobody's going to panic and like cause the blocks to drop. They just got to the end of that with like such a huge lead. In just like very, very, very good leadership in the challenges.
And like the wall, one hilarious. They use like cinder blocks. So this is such an Australian Survivor thing. Like regular Survivor would have used wooden blocks for sure, but not Australian Survivor. They're like, what can be? This is the show where a guy broke both his legs during a challenge. Like they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, he played it smart, whereas the Australians just like hit it as hard as they could in the middle. He was like, we're gonna take out a part that's supporting a lot of it, and it's just going to be easy, and it was great.
Yeah, normally when you try to knock over an entire wall, going for the foundation makes a lot more sense than going for the top.
Yeah, exactly. And credit to him for hitting all those blocks. That was super impressive, and Tommy too.
Tommy helped.
Yeah, and Tommy's been quiet, but I've liked him. I think if he can survive the all-male bloodbath that seemingly is happening, he could go far. But I don't know if any of the men are gonna get terribly far this season.
Yeah, I think a woman's winning. I mean, like
I mean, they had the numbers advantage to start, and it's just been 3 men to go. So
it's actually interesting. What are your thoughts on them having like an 8-6 split gender-wise at the start of the season?
I mean, they probably should have done 4-4, but they probably just couldn't make it work. I mean, it's not like the guys on either tribe were like ganged up on. Like, I think the 3 guys who have gone all went for legitimate game reasons, not like they just went because they were guys.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you could argue, like, there's like they went often largely because they were seen as like the big targets coming on, and like those sorts of like big target vibes often kind of just intrinsically end up on men, especially like in returning player seasons, because of the way the show is edited, because of the way that like the culture of the show is consumed. But like that's just kind of more like correlation and not causation.
Yeah, like I don't think like whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like
if we get Black Widow Brigade 2.0 and like that's what's happening, we were doing Micronesia too.
Yeah,
sign me up.
I was literally thinking about that during the last episode. Like this is just such a sequel season.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
No, look. I'm probably not as high in Micronesia as most people are. I think there's like stretches of Micronesia that are kind of boring that people forget about because like the big moments are so big and memorable, and like the storyline overall is so good. But Micronesia is still probably like a top 5 to 10 season for me, and like Parv and Suri are great, and like seeing Parv and Suri do their thing, basically running it back like bar for bar, almost 2 decades later is like pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I do love Micronesia. I will admit, like, I think it's great, but if Parv or Suri win this season, like, I literally couldn't ask for anything else. You know what I mean?
Like, okay, here's my question: who besides Parv and Suri is winning this season at this point?
Yeah.
Like who? Give me a name.
I mean,
Kirby, I guess.
Kirby. Maybe Lisa.
Maybe Lisa. Lisa's been an invisible. I mean, I don't know how Australian Survivor editing, like for this especially, but like she's literally, other than her bringing Tony to the well so that they can open the box in episode 3, she was just not in episodes 2 and 3 at all. Like other than like a challenge, I guess too.
Yeah, I feel like Parv has like the main edit. She's the main.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, she's. I think so. I looked at the confessional charts. I think right now she has more confessionals through 3 episodes than through like the first like 12 episodes of Micronesia.
Yeah. Yeah, she had like 18 in the first episode or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I think Shawnee could win if she gets with Parv, and
That's true.
I just think Shawnee's a really good player.
Yeah.
I think Shawnee, like some of the players who've already been voted off, has a little bit of like she's such a threat that I don't want to bring her in for real.
And they have like in episode 3 in the conversation that the 4 of them besides George and Johnny were having about which of the 2 of them to go after, that was like a bit of the conversation that maybe a bit of foreshadowing, which is like, you know, which of Shawnee or George is more likely to jump to their side at a merge. And there was like talk about like, hey, you know, Shawnee might go with the internationals.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the right move for her too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And I do think George would have stuck with the Australians if he felt like he was the one driving the ship.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like, it feels like Parvati doesn't like George. Lisa doesn't like George. It's like, could he really have actually gotten footing with these people? Like, as something other than just like a discardable number? I don't think so. I think like it's more likely, like you said, that somebody like Ashani would be able to like fit in kind of with the structure that they're building.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously Luke has an idol. So there's that. Luke is a good player too. And then Cass has an idol. I feel like we haven't seen a ton from Cass outside of her being a number for Parv and Suri and then finding the idol. What do you think about her?
Yeah, Cass is interesting. I think part of probably the reason that like Tommy and Cass in particular have gotten like very little focus is probably just the ESL thing. Like, you know, it's probably like I could not imagine like playing Survivor in a non-native language, like a second language.
Yeah, I just started the second season of Devil's Plan, and Justin being on the season with Korean not being his first language, super disadvantaged. Like so badly, kind of like honestly having to a little bit rely on the rest of the cast being able to speak English for him to get any footing. So I don't know how it ends, but I can't imagine he wins the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, obviously like Guillaume as well in season 1 was Canadian, but like he spoke better Korean than Justin, and also I think he lived in Korea for many years.
I think he lives there, yeah.
So whereas like, you know, Justin is like American, like, you know, his parents are from Korea, but like he was born and raised in America. So he probably has like the like level of a second language that you get from just kind of being in a household where it's casually spoken, but not being raised learning that language. Yeah.
And like, I was thinking about that when Tommy was having a confessional about looking for the key. Just like, how in the world would I, like, if I knew a second language, German, let's say, I know it a little bit. I took it for like, you know, 6 years of my life, right? I know German enough to like get the gist of what somebody is saying.
Yeah.
I don't think I could like make a good confessional in German, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
It'd be very much like a very basic confessional.
Yeah, no, like what Tommy and Cass have had.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard.
Yeah, so I'm not going to like, you know, dog either of them too much for like, you know, not being like particularly electric on the screen because it's got to be very difficult to be able to like, first of all, play the game in a second language, but then also like talk in confessionals in a second language. And like even like, you know, with the moments where like Cass is like showing more like kind of personality in the confessionals is when she's like kind of interspersing the Quebecois French.
Yeah, that's so funny. Where it just like straight up just subtitled her, you know, because like, yeah, this is a funny line.
Yeah.
So yeah, tough for them and tough to get a read on them as players because we just don't have the insights.
Yeah, I think Cass does have good instincts, though. I think that her not telling anyone about the idol is really good. There's basically no upside for her to tell somebody about it at this point. Because it's like they already have this podium idol, like knowledge as an alliance. So there's not really like anything that like her saying, "Oh, I also have an idol," would do to further solidify them. And on top of that, like she might need that in order to make a play against the alliance later down the road, in order to like put herself in a position to actually win the game. And not telling people about that is going to allow her to have those options. So I like that. At least she has that that confidence and that like that game savvy to be able to make that call. And like from my understanding, like she basically ran her season of like the Quebec Survivor. And like I haven't seen it. Like, I don't speak French, and it's like I looked to try to find it. And I think it's basically impossible to find an English subtitle version. So if you don't speak French, it's like so difficult to like find a way to watch it. But from my understanding,
it's somebody who from like a super fan from Quebec.
Yeah, you know, from Williams for
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, because I know the Quebec government is like makes it illegal to like officially put on English subtitles onto like French, like Canadian.
I didn't know that. That's
I don't know if it's illegal or if it's just like heavily like disincentivized, but I know that there is like governmental oversight over like putting English subtitles on French Canadian media.
That sucks because I would watch it like if I could easily, you know.
I'll watch pretty much anything if it's if it's good TV. Right. So, but yeah, my understanding is she did kind of like run the like like maybe kind of like in a Stephen Fishback kind of way is the vibe I've gotten, or like an Amanda and Todd kind of way, where like she ran the season kind of wire to wire with a number one ally, and then lost to him because he was more liked by the jury and they were kind of better at her. Is my vibe check on her kind of story.
Yeah.
But
so we'll see. We'll see how she does. I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to like if you get to the end, like pitch your case.
Yeah, that's really tricky. Like, I mean, I do wonder if that's in that case, like if like I've compared after these 2 episodes, if Suri and Parv are trying to do Black Widow Brigade 2, like she kind of does feel like she falls into the Amanda like role, and love Amanda, but like bad history of winning final councils, and I definitely think it's not impossible that Cass has the same experience where she gets to the end and loses the final tribal council again.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good possibility. I guess really like David was fun this season. I like David a lot as a player. He always delivers good television. There's the weirdness of him taking over as host. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I mean, on the one hand, good for him. That's great. Like, he's going to be the host of the show. Awesome. On the other hand, the host they have is really good. So that sucks that he's not going to be the host anymore. And, I'm sure he was disappointed just from it. I don't even know how much the prize is for this season.
It's at $250,000, I think.
Okay. So, yeah, that's not nothing. But he won like $5 million on Deal or No Deal Island.
Which translated to like $9 million AU.
Christ.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was desperate for money.
Well, that is. Yeah. I mean, I wonder, like, this isn't like really about any of the episodes or anything like that, but like, I do wonder if him being like a multimillionaire now, and like basically like not needing work at this point, like, is he just kind of doing the host job for pennies? Just because he kind of wants
probably, yeah. Probably that played into how he got the job over the current host, who was probably like, I would like a raise because I've been doing this for 10 years. And they were like, well, David will do it for like free. So that's awkward to be sure. But I think he was fun on the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like, I think that I think that a lot of the reason the Aussie tribe has been messy. Well, I mean, Sarah has been messy because she seems to have like some kind of unresolved PTSD. But like the rest of them, I think, are very messy, or have been very messy, because they've all kind of been like blindered on George, and kind of like trying to go after George or like undermine George's game at the behest of like bolstering their own game. Like even like Shawnee to a degree, I think did it, even though I think that like voting George out in the third episode was fine for Shawnee. Like her singular focus for the season through 3 episodes being, I need to get my revenge on George, is I think bad. Like, you know, it's just, it makes for a good, like, you know, cut for a story for the season for, you know, your character. But if like that's like how you're kind of building your strategy, it's like it's flimsy at best. And then I also think that David and Luke not trusting George to at least act self-interestedly, if not to like act, you know, with the level of trust, also bit them in the ass, because the flipping of the vote multiple times during the live tribal episode 2, it made very little sense. And like Kirby shouldn't have had the votes to take David out. Like if things had been executed properly by anybody, like, you know, presumably Shawnee should have been the one to go at that point. But
if David and Luke and Janine just committed to George, presumably he would have gone with it.
Yeah, he says, you know, afterwards, like, you know, I never would have voted for Shawnee, but like, I don't know, but I don't know if I believe that. That seems like him doing damage control.
I do wonder if he was like kind of intentionally voting for Janine, knowing that it wouldn't have you know, it wouldn't matter. I don't know.
I mean, that's very risky, and it makes him look both unreliable and stupid. So I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, I just don't know why he still ended up voting for Janine.
Yeah, like what's the what's the upside there, unless he thinks that there is like a pile-on vote for, yeah, it doesn't make sense. So
I don't know.
Maybe LA. I guess like the argument would be like, so that he could come out and have more of a reason to be like at Luke and Janine's throats, Luke in particular, because he can be like, hey, Luke, you told me what to do and I did it, and you tried to vote me out for it. And it's like, you know, now I'm against you. And like now he can like kind of set himself against Luke, and he becomes you know, a valuable asset to the majority alliance. Like maybe something like that, but like that doesn't feel like it was like a stout strategy. It felt like that he kind of just did that on the spot.
He got super fixated on it. And like,
yeah,
I don't think in a vacuum it is a bad move to vote Janine out for anyone on the Australian tribe, because Janine in real life is like a superstar. Sure, she's the CEO, badass businesswoman. I don't think she qualifies as necessarily a big survivor threat in the way that like the other players do. So if George could have convinced Luke and David to round up all the other players and vote Janine off, then the narrative isn't like we're getting rid of the big threats right away. And that's good for all of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that was his, I think that was his,
Sarah, probably.
His idea, right? Like that was, I think the logic behind him pushing Janine as a name the entire time was for that exact reason. And that's kind of also, I think, the reason why he tried to do this power bottoms alliance with Luke and David was like, you know, doing the lions and hyenas thing. And like for him, Janine was like the ultimate hyena and the ultimate like person that everyone could vote out and nobody could be that upset about. And it would kind of set the table for like, you know, like you said, like Sarah to go next. Speaking of Sarah, let's talk about Sarah, because this is fucking ridiculous. Like, well, what the fuck is she doing? What is she doing?
I feel like she's like, oh my God, everyone thinks of me as like this unreliable, sneaky player.
Mhm.
And then all the other players are like, which season were you on again? Like, I just don't think anybody cares, Sarah, as much as she's gotten it in her head that they care.
Yeah, she's kind of done the thing, and we're talking about Big Brother 27 as well. So like some loose Big Brother spoilers, but like she very much reminds me of a lot of the players on Big Brother 27 right now, where they have like this perception of themselves, and they're like going out of their way to try to like negate that perception, but in the process they're so bad at doing it that they end up playing directly into the perception that they're trying to avoid so desperately. So like Sarah is like, I need to make sure that everyone knows I'm loyal and I'm not flip-floppy and I'm not snaky and I'm not like unreliable as an ally. And the way she does this is by going around telling everybody this and be like, I got to be loyal to my person. Like, I don't like what they're doing. Like, you really should go against them. I'm going to give you all the ammo possible to screw me and my ally over. But like, I'm really loyal to them. It's like, that's not loyalty. No. You're playing both sides. You're just like trying to like rationalize some sort of illogical kind of narrative to justify playing both sides. You're not actually doing anything different or better. In fact, you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it bad.
Yes. No, I agree. And like, let's put it this way. George is like a super duper Survivor fan, knows everyone on the World's Tribe, and you would assume knows everyone on.
Yeah, he knows their date of birth. He knows their star sign and their
names. And when they were in the challenge, John was like, oh, George, you guys aren't the only ones who did this. And he's like, oh, season 2 did this? Luke, you did this? And Sarah's like, yeah, I did too. I was also on season 2, George. It's like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think she just like has spent 7 years being like, if I ever got another chance, I would play so differently. And now she has this new chance and she's just fixated on trying to play differently, but she's not good at it at all. And she probably should have just played how she naturally plays.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? She's it's like somebody who thinks that they can like vocalize a false reality into existence just by saying it over and over again, because she's not fundamentally playing differently. She's just talking about playing differently over and over again while doing the same shit, but like in a worse way.
Yeah, without like the
finesse,
the killer instinct, like, actually getting credit for playing that way. Like she's just not doing a good job. Yeah, it's a mess. She's really a mess.
Yeah, and
maybe now that George and Dave are gone, she'll settle in more, but I don't know.
I mean, in the preview we see, I mean, like the preview could be misleading, of course, but in the preview we see like, Kirby feeling frustrated with her, which understandable. I'm frustrated with her and I'm not even there, so
and like for her, like she made this alliance with Kirby and she was like, this is my alliance now. But then Kirby's like not necessarily listening to her. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, oh, well, I don't feel heard. But she's not like, well, I can't work with Kirby because Kirby won't listen to me or take me seriously. She's like, I need to still work with Kirby, but not also. Like, it's just confusing, man.
Yeah. And then like there's also like this like kind of like jealous partner vibe where like she's like, we have to vote out Shawnee so that I can have Kirby all to myself. And like I just made up a fight in my mind between me and Kirby. Like, we didn't really fight, but I fought with her in my mind, so it's a real fight.
That's insane to vocalize.
Yeah. It's like it's like, yeah, my boyfriend cheated on me in my dream and now I'm mad at him.
Yeah, kind of yeah, exactly. And she's just like, oh my God. Why? Like, it's totally valid to be like, I don't feel valued by Kirby as an ally, but it doesn't mean you have to work with her because you promised to work with her on the beginning. If you don't feel value, you can do your own thing.
Yeah, well, but that would be against her ethos of playing a different game. Yeah. When she said she was playing a different game, the real reality was she was going to play a worse game.
Yeah, she's gonna She's like, I didn't win my first
Well,
time.
she did everything right, and now she's gonna do everything wrong.
Yeah, right. So I don't know what Sarah's doing here.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about Tony? We didn't talk a ton about Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tony so much. I'm so glad he's on my screen again.
Mm-hmm.
The tribal tattoo, the gray tank top, it's all amazing. Surprised that he didn't find anything of either the key or the
Monkey
idol.
wrench.
Yeah, the monkey wrench. I don't know how long Tony can stay in, but I'm not going to count Tony out just because he's that good. Despite what he said to Lisa, being like, "Oh, not that good," trying to be like, "I'm not that good" after winning the all-winner season of Survivor. That's a tough thing to convince anybody of.
Yeah, it's a hard sell.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I'm not really that good. And she's like, Tony, come on. Be serious, please.
I won twice. It was just flukes.
Yeah, it just all happened to go my way. Who even knows?
Mm-hmm. It's a really random game. Some, it's like I won the lottery.
Yeah. It's just so funny that he tried that. This Lisa's just like, come on, man. Just stop. And like, it's so fun. Like to have all these winners there, and David was a winner. I don't think anyone else on the tribe. No, none of the other Australian players are winners. Which means Haley still the only returning winner to survive a tribal council on Australian Survivor. So shout out Haley. Maybe should have been on this season. Maybe they were worried about too many good female players on the season to bring Haley back. But I don't know. I'm excited to see where Tony lands here. And I mean, it could be over next episode with the double boot. Who knows? But I'm hoping it won't be.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my worry at this point, based on how they're setting this up, right? Like, Tony is the kind of vocal person who is the one pointing out this women's alliance thing over and over and over again. Yeah. And, like, you would think that, like, Parvin Suri would, take out Tommy over him if given the choice, but I'm not, I know,
yeah,
I could see it go either way.
I think if Tony can beat Chill next episode, and who knows, maybe he wins immunity. Probably not. It looks like a tough challenge for him to win. But I mean, stranger things have happened. He's a challenge piece this season, and at the end of his last season. But like, I think there is a chance if he, goes into the next tribal and is just like, Suri and Parv, what do you want to do? Just tell me. I'm good. They're not going to vote him off. But if he freaks out even a little bit, like, he's gone for sure.
Yeah. I think so too. I think if he's Chill, they probably just take out Tommy. But I guess we'll see. And, if he does go, like, this is the thing. I think it's probably correct at this point for Parvin 3 to cut him, right? Because, like who's going to stop them after Tony's cut?
Right.
Like, I think the only thing that can really, I think Tony's the only one with the, wherewithal to really kind of see what's going on. Like, he's had conversations a little bit with Tommy about it, but I don't know if Tommy really has the, the killer vibes in order to, really grab the game and turn it around on them. But I also, I don't know. Like, Tommy's the person that I know the least about, so I really don't know.
And, when I say, he can survive the next tribal council, I think he wouldn't be in a position to make a run to win if Tommy gets voted off. I think, he's playing for a 5th place finish, Yeah,
well, I mean, he could win outright in that game in theory. It's not that hard for him. It's not that many challenges to win out from, a theoretical kind of position that he would be in.
It's true.
But
I mean, it's kind of similar to where James was in Micronesia, where
Yeah.
he was an important part of their alliance until they didn't need him to be an important part of his alliance, and then it was just like, yeah, sorry, James, like, we're gonna keep you until we have no one left to get rid of. And I think if James doesn't get medevaced, he probably comes in like 5th or 6th depending on immunity. But I
you probably swap positions with Eric.
Yeah, something like that.
So. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of potential things that could happen, and even if like what seems to be set up as the like obvious kind of path that they're taking, which is like the Australians are too messy to get it together, and this like Black Order Brigade 2.0 kind of just like cannibalizes the game. Like even if that happens, I'm down. I'm chilling. Like that sounds great. Like it should be fun.
With a little like Kirby being like the main person that they have to probably get out to like solidify their stuff.
Main adversary. Yeah.
Luke being the late game, final hurdle person who probably wins a couple challenges and has an idol. And
there's still like a lot of game here, right? Well, obviously Luke had an idol, but like they have such a strong core. They have, I would argue, the 2 best players in the game in Parv and Suri at this point, and they have 2 idols, or like 1.5 idol.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. We'll see. I don't see it.
And it's such an unfortunate idol in the sense that it's like, okay, it has to be taken in person, and like once they get the majority, they can just take it in front of everybody, and there's nothing that the other people can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just like remove it from the board entirely.
Yep. 100%. We'll see. I mean, we'll be back here in a week or so to talk about the episodes 4 through 6 and see if we still have the same opinion or if the game is totally flipping its head. Because with this cast and with this season, I think anything could happen.
No, I agree. If Parv or Suri win, I mean, I'd be so happy. Like, I can't complain about it. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And outside shot for Shawnee to finally get a win. I don't know if this was the cast for her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's my pitch, right? Like, Rob in episode 1 kind of had like the Palau James kind of vibe where everything he said it was the opposite that was true,
right.
And the 2 things.
The Oracle of Palau.
The Oracle of Australia versus the world. And there's 2 things that he said. One was, Suri's the best player never to win. That's not changing tonight. And then also when he was voted out, he said he guarantees an Aussie is a sole survivor. So I'm just saying.
Ooh, that'd be great. So we'll have to put a pin in that. And come back to it as it goes. I love that.
Yeah. And then also, I think that we had this confessional of like Micronesia was my season, right? Like, I'm gonna and if this is Micronesia too, right? And this is supposed to be Suri's season, right? I think that might be the storyline they're going for.
I'd love it. I mean, I talk about it a lot on our Traders podcast, but like watching Suri win the Traders was an incredibly cathartic experience as someone who's been a Suri fan since 2005 and have had watched her come up short in like these really tragic ways. To see her dominate a game from wire to wire and win and have the host be like, you're the greatest liar I've ever seen in my life. Like there's just such a great feeling, and why that season will always be like one of my favorite reality TV seasons of any show, just because I'm a huge fan of hers. So, if she wins Survivor, that would be incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, look, even if she doesn't, like, she's got another shot.
Yeah. That's dude, do you think if she wins Survivor, she'll tell anybody? No, right?
No. If she wins this season, there's no way she's telling anybody ahead of season 50, especially if she knows she's like in the mix, right? Like, there's not a shot.
So funny.
That would be insane to do that. Like, why would you put that target on your back?
Yeah, because Parv and Tony aren't there, so
Yeah.
she doesn't have to tell
Yeah,
anybody.
she'd be like, I went out second, it was not a great experience. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that makes even more sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here because it went horribly last time. So, man, what we talked about it. We need one of these every few years. Let Australian Survivor build up a new roster of legends. Like, give it a few years, and US Survivor will do the same. And this will just be fun.
Yeah, no, it's like a brilliant idea. Like we talked with like Big Brother when BB Can was kind of at its height. The idea of doing like a BB Can versus BBUS season that never really kind of matriculated.
When they were worried about the ratings for BB Can, I cannot believe they didn't do a versus season.
Yeah, I mean maybe they tried. Cause I know obviously like in BB Can 4 they had like the Tim and Nikki come in, and then also like they had Jace and like the Italian woman whose name I don't remember, who was just there to lose to Nikki.
Jace was there from BB5. Was that
BB5? Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. He almost got into the house.
Yeah, well, it's hard because like at that point Tim was such a like known entity, and like he had just come off of like running his season of BB Australia, like kind of like a mafia boss, like really like just insane game.
Did Tim win BB Can?
Yeah, Tim won Australian's Big Brother, and then he came in third on BB Can 4.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I mean, if he won the final, like he arguably threw the final HOH because he was frustrated with the way the end game was going. But if he wins that final HOH, he's like likely the winner of the season. It's like he almost won two different versions of the same franchise. He's very good.
Yeah, no, I can't believe they never did that. They still should. US should do a season, get some, because there are some killers from BB Can who would be awesome to see again. So.
Yeah, it's especially because like other than in 12 where you had Spicy V and Dougie come back as like the like captains or whatever, like from 6 to 12 there's an entire slate of new players that basically have not had a chance to return, and there are still probably some from 1 through 5 that you could even tap.
Yeah, this is crazy because they never did in full All-Star season, right?
Yeah, it was half. 5 was half. Yeah, and like I mean, even still, like never bringing like Emmett back, right? Like I mean, like I know Emmett and Jillian did Amazing Race Canada, like back when they were together, but like. I think they actually might have done it after they broke up, which is funny. But like the fact that Emmett never returned is insane. Like there's like a number of players from those first 5 seasons that just like didn't end up on 5. And like even some of the people that ended up on 5, like like I'm not gonna say no to like Ika or Netta on like another season of reality TV.
At least we have shows like The Traders. That are in Traders Canada that have taken from BB Can. I assume will continue to take from that pool of
players. I mean Kevin Jacobs is going to be on.
Yeah, so I think he'll be good at The Traders.
I would assume. I mean I think Kevin Jacobs is the top 5 reality TV player of all time. I think he's the GOAT.
I think the problem with American productions is this: we have like this weird like ego thing of like the other versions couldn't possibly live up to our version, so we don't even want to like acknowledge them, which I think is stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean like you kind of get like a little bit of that vibe from Jeff in terms of talking about like even like not even international versions of the show or international like reality shows, but just like even other US reality shows that are pulling Survivor contestants on, like The Traders, where there is like kind of like a level of like ownership to like the franchise, and but I mean looking at least even within the CBS reality sphere, Survivor, Big Brother, and Amazing Race have always commingled their contestants back since like Allison from BB4 went on Amazing Race, and Boston Rob and Amber went on Amazing Race. Like this has been the case since like very early days of these franchises. So like I think the idea of like keeping saran wrap over these shows and not exploring the possibilities of creating like larger like transcendental storylines is just dumb.
No, I agree. And like I know Jeff has semi walked it back since the like film season 50, and you know he can walk it back, but it doesn't change the fact that they didn't put Carolyn on season 50. Like it's like, okay, it's nice that you acknowledge that you were being kind of a dick about this, but like it already passed. But you know, I think like it's super unfair to hold the players kind of hostage when like they weren't doing any all-star seasons for like 10 seasons, and like these are people who like they're, you know, when they're going to be wanted for shows is going to be as close to when they were originally on these shows. And like Rob and Parv, Tony, you know, they all had multiple appearances to become legends. Like they're basically like blocking out a ton of, you know, new era players from building a legacy to where they could potentially go on to be these reality television, you know, stars.
Yeah, and I mean, I will see what happens in 50. See if like any of the new era players like really like stand out as like the star of the new era, and like whether like that kind of informs any of the decisions going forward. But yeah, like I mean, look, I would be ecstatic if BB28 was randomly a U.S. versus Canadian All-Star season. I think that would be insane. I think that you know has the potential to be like one of the greatest seasons, like Big Brother seasons, in in years. So.
Yeah, it's hard because Big Brother doesn't even acknowledge that OTT exists. Like
they don't even acknowledge that. They don't even acknowledge their own spin-off seasons.
Yeah. They took both of that and Reindeer Games off of Paramount Plus. Like it's insane. I don't know. There needs to be another show that's like more similar to the social strategy games of Surviving Big Brother that we can just put these players on, you know, have a brand steal basically show of just like all these, you know, players from the past.
Look, I mean, I know.
You have to make it, Ben.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the Genius US, right? Like, you know, I think the reason that the Genius South Korea was so successful was because there were a bunch of like pseudo celebrities on, like similar to the Traders, where they had prior relationships, personality, like they were able to like kind of build narratives that wouldn't have otherwise existed. I think the reason that, you know, the Genius Netherlands and then like even the Genius Game UK to a degree, even though the Genius Game UK was much better than the Genius Netherlands, but like still not incredible. The reason that they have kind of like not succeeded was because the casting was not electric enough to really like push the game over the edge. Where like even on a Devil's Plan, obviously like the casting is still very forward and like let's get players that are both very good on screen and also are going to play hard. And I think that the Genius Game UK missed that in a lot of ways with some of their casting. And I think that the way for a Genius Game US to work, or the Genius US to work, would be to kind of go the Traders route of like bringing pseudo celebrities and kind of other reality TV players in to kind of really set the stage for how the game needs to be played. And then maybe later down the road, they can bring in people who, or like at least like mix in, you know, what the Genius does, which is like, you know, pro poker players and like kind of like B-list actors, C-list actors, that sort of thing, presenters, like kind of people who have the personality to like hold the show and also have the potential to be really good players.
Yeah, listen, if any, you know, Peacock, Netflix, Ben and I have an idea for a game, and if you allow us to cast it also, slam dunk, you will get the craziest ratings of your life. So throwing that out there.
Yeah, and I think that like I think the reason, like, you need like the reason that the Traitors has been successful is a combination of casting, the like aesthetics of the show, the marketing behind it, the like way that they've kind of, you know, infested the show into pop culture, and then also the players are like there to make a good like season of television. Like they're playing the game and they're also like integrating their own personality and story into the season. And I think that like that's the reason it's successful. So I think, yes,
we know a certain unemployed host who could host the show. A lot of experience, really beloved.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
Get Jonathan on the phone.
Yep. So shout out Netflix or Peacock. Let us know.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, that's all I had to say, Ben. So much fun to talk about this season. Oh, it reminds me of why I fell in love with Survivor.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah. And you know, it's the same feeling I got watching Heroes versus Villains of the Australian version, where I was like, oh yeah, I'm jaded, and I'm sure that comes across in our podcast when Survivor's down a little bit, like in 48. But I do really, really love Survivor when it's firing on all cylinders, you know.
100%. Yeah, no, it's you know, the greatest game on TV, and like it's got so much potential when it's like executed properly.
Exactly. So if you're not sick of us, this will probably come out on Wednesday night, a little late, you know, got to edit it, upload it, probably come out around 9-ish. And if you listen before that, on Thursday night, we will be live after the Thursday night Big Brother eviction here on the Better Radio channel to talk all about Rachel Riley's week as HOH. Has been very interesting, to say the least. So
ups and downs.
Yeah,
and ups agains, and downs agains, and ups agains.
Yep. So, you know, not 100% sure who will go home. We'll see, but yeah, follow us here on Better Radio. Main channels where you get everything. We have a new channel, Wicked Scary. Just put a video out on there today. You know, Those Fake Nerds, Wicked Sports, the Blindsiders channel, the Have Not Room. Lots of channels, something for everybody, I feel like. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.